Solana has caught a lot of attention recently, especially after being mentioned in a document published by the World Economic Forum. This San Francisco based company has attracted the likes of the Swiss and another major player in the crypto space, leaving one question: who is funding Solana? In this video, that's what we look to answer. Stay tuned.
I've got to go right to it because I think you're really impressive history, and there are people who have made fortunes who are connected with you. So I need to know, first of all, why does your company exist? And second, why we need it.
Blockchain is a revolutionary technology that is really enabling people to go, person to person without any intermediaries. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are just way too slow for that. So Solana's there to really enable that 1 billion people to go fully interconnected.
Oh, well, let's figure this out. Way too slow. The way I like to compare is that, let's say a Visa. We have American Express on tonight. They do so many calculations per second, so many things per second. You tell me that Ethereum and Bitcoin don't work as fast?
No. Both Ethereum and Bitcoin can basically handle about a city the size of Berkeley, California. That's where they crap out.
Oh, my. And why? Is it because you're decentralized finance? Does yours work different, or because you just have a better mousetrap?
So those technologies are about 10 years old. Proof of work and what they're based on are quite old. Solana is based on a bunch of tech that myself and most of the folks that came out of Qualcomm kind of leverage from our expertise in the wireless industry. And we really optimize this thing to take advantage of Moore's Law, hardware that keeps getting faster and faster. And we've benchmarked this to 65,000 TPS, which is the speed of Visa. And our sites are bigger than that. In our seed level deck, we literally set that it's blockchain at NASDAQ speed. So we want to slay some bigger dragons than just payments.
All right, so why don't we all switch to Solana? I mean, Solana sounds like it's actually commercial, and the other guys sound like that they're antique.
There's already thousands of people are already switching. So if you want to call it switching, or if you want to call new engineers coming into the space and building new applications, we saw a massive influx of developers over the last.
Welcome back to another episode of your Digit Hustle News. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking Solana. As promised, I told you I would start keeping an eye on this project, especially since they were mentioned in that little document published by the World Economic Forum not too long ago. Okay, now, ever since then, this San Francisco-based company has been drawing a lot of eyes in its direction, starting with 21 Shares. Okay, they have launched Solana as a exchange traded product, first of its kind, on 6 Swiss exchange. Now, there are many things that are interesting just in the headline alone. Like, for example, the 6 Swiss exchange. That's one of those exchanges that's heavily tied in with the Bank of International Settlements and this whole central bank digital currency situation, which is what is drawing me even deeper into Solana. Okay, but if you don't mind, real quick, guys, before we get into the story, make sure you smash that like button and, of course, hit the subscribe button if you're new. We talk about all the cryptos here at Digit Hustle News because we focus on global adoption. This cryptocurrency wave is not just a wave, it is the future. And that's what we're here to report on, the future. So if you're interested in hearing updates and news about all your favorite cryptos, again, make sure you hit that like button for me. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the information. Now, Switzerland-based investment product provider 21 Shares is launching the world's first Solana exchange-traded product. The vehicle, trading under the ASOL ticker, goes live on Tuesday. 21 Shares, formerly known as AMON, said Friday the Solana exchange-traded product will list on Switzerland's primary stock exchange, the Swiss SIX. The Solana ecosystem is backed heavily by Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO and founder of crypto derivatives exchanges FTX and Alameda Research. SOL is currently the 14th largest cryptocurrency with a market cap of nearly 8 billion, according to CoinGecko. Now, forgive the chuckle a little bit, but SOL. From where I'm from, that's very funny. But Solana Labs, the team building the Solana network, raised $314 million earlier this month in a token sale co-led by Andresseen and Polychain Capital. Now, speaking of Mr. Horowitz, the next piece of information I'm going to give you guys, okay? And this kind of ties in to a video that I released earlier in the day regarding Tezos, because USDC, once again, is spreading. Now, Solana Labs, the people behind the Solana token, has got a boost as Circle and Maps.me have announced a partnership to offer USDC on the Maps.me integrated digital wallet. USDC is integrated into several chains and was integrated into Solana at the beginning of this year. Now, I pulled that article up to highlight the fact that really fast, Circle gained a lot of attention. Okay, now, Sam Bankman-Fried is the owner of FTX. FTX just got the arena down in Miami. Tom Brady just became a huge investor into FTX. So FTX is already heavily deep in the position that they're supposed to be in. Okay, now, as far as Mr. Horowitz goes, this man has invested into everything from Uber to DoorDash to Amazon to Facebook to Google to Coinbase, to everything. Why? How? Only he knows. But he's just spent 2.2 billion. And guess where some of that 2.2 billion went? Well, just so happens that a lot of that money went to a few projects, one of which was Solana Labs. Okay? That's why I led with the question, who's funding Solana and why? Because the immediate players that came into the picture when Solana started to go mainstream immediately struck me off guard, guys. Okay? Immediately struck a chord. So it made me curious. And once I went down the rabbit hole, of course, you always find what you're looking for, guys. And it all starts with this 6 Swiss exchange. Okay. CoinDesk and Cointelegraph's got a few other articles about 6 Swiss exchange and what else that they do. But like I mentioned before, my main reasoning for questioning Solana is their partnership with this specific exchange, because this same exchange is essentially working on the other side. So it's like you're creating CBDCs and you're creating currencies in which to compete against them. Smaller pieces, bigger puzzle. That's what I like to call it, guys. Smaller pieces to a bigger puzzle. But nevertheless, I am highly interested in Solana because the technology is sound. It's there. Okay. I'm going to attach a clip at the end of this video. It's going to be a little bit of an explainer of the Solana technology. So that way, you leave this video with more information than when you arrived. Not to mention, almost forgot, in the beginning, if you didn't see, the CEO was on CNBC. So that was another key thing that stood out to me when it came to Solana. So of course, not financial advice, but I came with this video just to bring the attention to Solana as being one of those projects that's agenda driven, not just technically or fundamentally, but agenda driven. Okay. So this video won't be too long. Make sure you stick around though for the end to get that little bit of piece of more knowledge of Solana and their technology. But With that being said, guys, I'm going to let you go. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Of course, you can get down at me in the comments, social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All links you can find down in the description or at digitalhustlenews.io. But with all that being said, guys, I want you to have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And most importantly, make that money. I'll see you in the next video.
There's an interesting new shift that's happening now in the cellular world that really intersects blockchain. When we're transitioning from 4G networks like LTE to 5G networks, the tower range is actually shrinking dramatically. So 4G towers have a range of like 30 miles, 50 kilometers. 5G towers have a range of about 500 feet, 150 meters. So the number of towers that are expected to operate for 5G is going to be orders of magnitude larger. So imagine now a world where you have, one of these routers, one of these towers every 100, a couple hundred feet in a large metropolitan area. Even as just a normal person that's commuting office to work, you're going to be switching and connected to dozens of these at a time. And if these are provided by different carriers, different tower providers, different operators, it creates kind of this nightmare real-time billing problem. That these old school like asset-based databases that are tracking your usage in the network really can't handle the complexity of the system. Blockchain is a really fundamentally amazing stack for tracking identity and billing. Right? If you use cryptography and use effectively almost like a token-based system for paying for bandwidth, a device that's traveling, between all of these towers can reconnect on demand and pay for quality of service, pay for bandwidth, and all of this can be tracked automatically between a very large set of people and set of providers. Other kinds of use cases that we're seeing early signs of adoption are more Web2 companies that have large user bases starting to introduce crypto elements into their networks. These networks traditionally have tens of millions of users, 20 millions of users, and they simply cannot operate on current infrastructure, but they can on Solana. I think when you look at our team, it's not surprising that we're able to build this ridiculously fast blockchain. And it's because most of the team has worked together at Qualcomm, working on optimizing high performance cellular networks, wireless networks, operating systems. I mean, we were there really from 2G days when you had flip phones to like the latest and greatest crazy high performance Android devices. From our perspective, we have already built networks that serve billions of users that have the highest security requirements, that are attacked by the most well-funded opponents, and we kind of have the skill set to do this. What we're building has a possibility to change the world because I think blockchain is one of those key technologies that is truly revolutionary. If you look at the world's GDP, about 20% of it's spent on financial services. And right now, a lot of that cost just goes to inefficient systems that require a lot of manpower and a lot of regulation. If you truly have a system, like a computer that cannot be hacked, fraud is impossible, you can start moving all those services into software and reducing those costs. If we succeed, potentially 20% of that GDP is given back to the people and we can work 4 days out of 5 and get the same quality of life.